was not white, nor had she paid the $150 fee the retreat organizers had set for the workshop. The seed that germinated into this anthology began there in Gloria's talk with Merlin. But you have to think of the timing. 1979? Of course you're gonna fucking look at her. Anyways, what happened at the women's retreat was not new to our experience. Both of us first met each other working as the only two Chicanas in a national feminist writers organization. After 2 years of involvement with the group, which repeatedly refused to adjust itself to enlist and racist practices, we left the organization and began to work on this book. I'm not reading that. What began as living the entity. What began as a reaction from the racism of white feminists soon became the positive affirmation of the commitment of women of color to our own feminism. Mere words on a page began to transform themselves into a living entity in our guts. Now, over the years later, feeling greater solidarity with other feminists of color across the country through the making of this book, we assert this bridge called My Back intends to reflect an uncompromised definition of feminism by women of color in the U.S. We named this anthology Radical, for we are interested in the writings of women of color who want nothing short of a revolution in the hands of women who agree that's typo. Who agree that it's not. Who agree that wait what? Who agree that is the goal, no matter how we might disagree about getting there, or the possibility of seeing it in our own lifetimes. We use the term in its original form, stemming from the word root for our feminist politic emerges from the roots of both our cultural oppression and heritage. Ugh. Don't do that. Stop that. The 6 sessions of this bridge called My Back intend to reflect what we feel to be the major areas of concern for the third world woman in the U.S. in forming a broad-based political movement. 1. How visibility/invisibility as a woman of color forms our radicalism. 2. And the ways which the third world women derive a feminist political theory, specifically from our radical culture, our racial/cultural background and experiences. 3. The destructive and demoralizing effects of racism and women's movement. 4. The cultural class and sexuality differences that divide women of color. 5. Third world women's writing as a tool for self-preservation and revolutions. And 6. The ways and means of the third world feminist future. The woman whose hands this bridge called My Back was brought identify as third world women and or women of color. Each woman considers herself a feminist, but draws her feminism from the culture in which she grew. Most of the women appearing in this book are first generation writers. Some of us do not see ourselves as writers, but pull the pen across the page anyway, or speak with the power of poets. That's so powerful. And I'm falling asleep too. Powerful. You don't believe that. The selections in this anthology range from